gerosios praktikos, arba kitaip tariant, kaip reikėtų daryti ir kaip nereikėtų daryti, instaliuojant arba administruojant Veeam programinę įrangą, o taip pat kaip iš tikrųjų reikėtų naudoti Veeam darant atsarginės kopijas fizinių serverių. Tai šiandien šios dienos tema yra apie naują versiją. Mūsų kolega Mariušas iš Veeamo apžvelgs, kokios yra naujienos, kokios yra savybės. Jeigu turėsit klausimų, prašom rašyti čate, galite rašyti angliškai, galite rašyti lietuviškai, mes išversim. Ir seminaro pabaigoje norėčiau paprašyti jūs užpildyti trumpą anketą apie tai, kaip ar aktualus buvo šis seminaras jums, ar išgirdot kažką naujo. Galbūt turit kažkokių tai klausimų ir norėtumėt, kad susisiektume su jumis dėl kažkokių tai konkrečių dalykų. Tai tiek pradžiai, atsiprašau už neskaudumus prisijungiant, turėjau tam tikrų techninių iššūkių. So, Mariusz, you're welcome and please start your presentation.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome everybody. Labas rytas. Okay. Miroslav, can you confirm that you can see the presentation also? Okay. Yes. Can you just to be sure you can see?
I can see.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so welcome everybody again. Labas rytas for everybody. So my name is Mariusz Rybuziński. I'm a system engineer at Veeam for almost 7 years. So today I will have the pleasure to show you, to talk to you about the version 10, about few features latest which will available in version 10. I will not cover all of the features because we don't have time, because what's new would take 1 day or even more. So let me concentrate on most important features, on most useful features, in my opinion. Okay, so before we start, regarding the Veeam portfolio, as you may know or not, then I will just show you. Veeam is taking care for modern data protection for cloud platform. Mainly, we are concentrating on backup and replication. So for making backup from our data virtual, it's not only virtual environment, but also can be physical environment, can be software as a service. For example, Office 365 or cloud virtual machines on Azure, virtual machines on AWS. So we have a variety of our products. We also have Veeam One or Veeam Management Pack for monitoring those environments which I mentioned. But going to details, what I would like to cover today, especially in version 10. So backup and replication is our core products for mainly for making backups for virtual environments, for VMware, for Hyper-V, for Nutanix, but also for NAS backup. This is the new stuff. So starting from version 10, we are able to backup file servers which are exposed to the network as NAS backups through the SMB or NFS. I will talk a little bit about the instant recovery. Maybe some of you know this feature. We already had it for a few years, but there's a lot of changes in version 10 regarding instant recovery. And also, as in recent few years, months, we have more and more threats from different kind of ransomwares. So I will also cover this ransomware, how you can keep the back copies of the backup in a ransomware proof way. Okay, So let's start with the NAS backups. Of course, if you have any questions during the presentation, please ask in the chat. You can ask in English or in Polish or in your local language. Then Mirosław can help me in with translation. Also, Mirek, question to you: request if you will notice some question to me, please unmute yourself and stop me, and then I will try to answer the question, especially during the demo, because I also planning to show you some demo to show you the live the features which we are talking. So regarding NAS backups, before we go to the features how Veeam is doing backups, few challenges. So NAS are more generally in IT infrastructure, we have more and more data we want to keep and we want to backup. So number of objects are growing. The size of those objects are bigger and bigger, and there's very often some kind of unstructured data. So historically, NAS backups was using NDMP. It was invented for long time ago to take care for this unstructured data, and 10 years ago it was somehow end of development on that technology, and a lot of solutions still require NDMP for making backups. So one important information how Veeam is doing NAS backups: we are not using NDMP. So what we are using instead of NDMP? First, we are quite flexible. We don't care if you have NDMP or not. If you have SMB, we support SMB in version 1, 2, and 3. We support NFS shares, so in version 3 or version 4.1. We support all kind of file server, Windows or Linux file servers. So when we have access to in the background, in the backend to those file servers, we can also take backups and in the quite fast manner. Regarding so what is the one of the main point with NDMP? Most of the situation they have the limitation, the problem with the type of the backups. Usually there's have to be full backups in most of the cases, and very often we are in that case we are tied to one solution, so we can backup and restore to the same, maybe not array, but at least to the same vendor. So if you make backup from vendor A, we have to make the restore also to the vendor A in case of an NDMP. So we don't have those limitations. So regarding the incremental backups, we have special option like here you can see in the middle, that if we have several different files and folders, if only one file will be modified, we have special algorithm which is looking for modification on the top parent folder level. So like on this picture, if folder 2 didn't have any change file or new files in this catalogs and in his structure folder 2, then we just skip whole part of this NAS. If we notice that, okay, in folder 1, the checksum we are comparing with the previous backup is modified, then we are go inside and check on the sub level. So we notice, okay, folder 3, 4, 5, 4, 6, and 7 didn't change, and only folder 3 is modified. So we go to the folder 3, and then so in this way we are checking only and scanning only for the files to find the files and folders which are modified. Based on the checksum is made on the modification date, on the permission, on the size of the folder. So based on this, we can do it on the parent level without going inside the files structure. we are also able to integrate with the storage snapshot. If you have the enterprise solution, enterprise storage, which let you make the storage snapshot, we can integrate it with it. This is especially good, useful, or beside the storage snapshot, we can also make the snapshot based on the VSS snapshot, but the VSS snapshot, Microsoft VSS snapshot, require SMB in version 3. So in that cases, we can also take the open files, so files which I have logged, and with the storage snapshot, we can take it to the second based on this storage snapshot, so without affecting the production. And the recovery option. So regarding recovery option, we are able to restore entire file share, point in time, or file level recovery. Okay, so maybe let me show you how this can look like. Mirosław, can you confirm that you can see the desktop? Hello, can someone confirm? Yes.
Yeah, yes, I can see.
Yeah, because now I will not see the question. So now also, okay. So this is version 10. So all new stuff regarding NAS backups are here in the new section, file shares, where we can add a file server, Windows or Linux, NFS share or SMB share. I have here some one of the share. So let me show the options. So here I can add the credentials, where is the location of my file share, and how to process those file share. Then if we will go to the backup jobs, so let me quickly go through the backup jobs. So here I am able to choose what I want to backup, which file share. I can make also filters with include mask or exclude mask. On the next step, we are able to show to make the backups to two different locations, to the short-term retention and to the archive retention. So short-term retention is here on the top, so it's a backup repository. Like here I have 7 days set. I can set it in days or in months. And additionally, so in this short-term retention, I keep all version of my files for last 7 days. Additionally, if something will be modified, will be changed, then I'm able to send archive copy of that data to the archive location. It can be different storage, it can be different cheaper storage, it can be also object storage. Like in my case, you can see that I have Azure Blob Storage attached. And here we can also see advanced settings that we can handle permissions for the folders or on the file levels, compression, or we can encrypt the data, maintenance for the storage level, corruption, verification, notification, and some scripts, of course, if you want. Additionally, we can also check and choose which files we want to archive. If you want to send from this short-term retention to this archive repository all files, all active files, or only last 10 version, or for deleted files only 3 version, so it's up to you, and also which files you want to move. Additionally, we can send additional copy to one more repository. Maybe you hear the rule, the best practice for backup rule 3-to-1. So to be sure that we are able to restore the data in case of some disaster, we can follow the 3-to-1 rule. 3 copies, 2 different media, and one of these copies should be offside. One of these copies should be offline. So here's the option to select the additional copy. So, and by default, we are using this exactly the same retention as the short-term repository, but of course we can change it to, for example, not days, but here, let's say in months, and at the time frame where we are sending backups. Okay, so this is how the backup job looks like. So now let's look for the restore options. I have 3 restore options: entire share. So let's quickly see what are the options here for the entire share, and after that we will see single files. So for the entire share, I can see the what was backup. Here I had a slider when I can see which restore point, and as I'm moving this slider, it also in the preview shows me what's the structure of the folder. So this is the from 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. Here I can also switch to the different settings and see if something is changed. I can also choose the restore point from this window. Okay, if we select what we want to restore, then on the next, if I want to restore to the original location or to the totally different folder, so we are not tied to the one solution, one device. And also on the last step for the restore option, how should we behave in case of some conflicts, file conflicts? If the some files still exist, should we override it or not? So we can depend the older files override or newer files or only permissions. So this is the restore options for whole file share. So now let's look at the restore options for files and folders. So how it looks here. Okay, let's wait few seconds. So okay, so now we have the backup browser. So you could see if you are using already Veeam backup and replication, so you could see the same window for restoring file level restore, Windows or Linux restore. So here we can see all files, everything from that folder. So this is the latest version. So because maybe you noticed that I didn't choose any restore point. So this is the latest state. I can also select one of the previous backups state, or I'm able to see all-time view. With all-time view, we can see all restore points at once. So for example, you can see also column deletion date or version date. So here you can see that, for example, those files, these ISO files for Windows Server, I already deleted. So I can see when it was deleted, and also versions, how many versions I have of those files. For example, also here that I have 11 versions of this file. So for this file, I'm able to overwrite, so restore to the original location with option to overwrite or with the keep, or copy somewhere to the desktop. If I will make the copy somewhere to the desktop, I have additional step where I can select, because I have 11 versions. So we are keeping 11 versions of this file. So I'm able to select which one, and here also you can see location that on short-term repository, I have only those 2 versions, and all other version I have on the archive repository, so on the blob storage in my case, and then where we want to restore it. So this is how very quick. Also, this work on the folder level, so on any view. So it's quite flexible. What you want to restore. Okay, so that was the NAS backup. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. So instant recovery engine. So what's new in this engine? What was changed? So first, the important thing, what important issue we address or update is recovery speed. So right now we rewrite engine for instant recovery, and the virtual machine should boot up much faster. We do it in quite easy way because usually, as you know, we can boot up in few seconds virtual machine despite size of the virtual machinery. So it can be few megabytes, few gigabytes, few terabytes, and we are still able to recover such virtual machine instantly within 10, 20 seconds, 1 minute, able to restore it. But so we are don't copying the data from the backup repository to the production. We just boot up virtual machine directly from the repository. And the new improvement for the speed is that we are able, so we increase the size of the cache, which is located in the memory. So this let us speed up everything. But another challenge which we address is the migration from different environment. Maybe some of you still have some environment on physical servers. So the new stuff is that starting with version 10, we are able to install any kind of the Veeam backup from any kind of the source to the VMware. So previously we had only virtual machines to VMware. So if you make the backup for VMware, then we was able to make it instant recovery to the VMware. Right now in version 10, we are able to do this also for physical servers. So if you have backup made by Veeam agent for Windows, Veeam agent for Linux, we are able to make the instant recovery to the VMware. So it's somehow physical to virtual migration. Here you can see VMs without saying what kind of the VMs or from which hypervisor. So it can be any kind of the hypervisor. It can be, of course, what we had in the past, VMware to VMware. But what's new, we are also able to make the instant recovery from, for example, the Hyper-V virtual machine to VMware. So we make also virtual to virtual conversion. So if you have the mixed environment, partly Hyper-V, partly VMware, we also support this for Nutanix Acropolis hypervisor. So if you have one of these backups, so whatever backup you can do with Veeam, you can restore it to vSphere. You can also, we have also new solution, new products for cloud virtual machines. So we have a new product, Veeam Backup for AWS, we have virtual machines. We have product for Azure virtual machines. So if you have those virtual machines, we are also able to restore it to VMware. So okay, so this data management. So okay, let's go back again for a second to the desktop. So I will show you how it can look like. So we don't have time to make it full, but here you can see that I have backup for Windows. So if I will right-click here, instant recovery, and I have what we also had in the past for the Hyper-V, but the new is that we have instant recovery to the VMware. We have the same here for agent for the Linux backups. We have instant recovery to the VMware. And also I have Hyper-V here. So maybe let's make one of these recovery. So from Hyper-V to VMware. Let me log on in the background to the VMware to let you see how it looks like. Okay, let me log on so we will see the result. Okay, can be the which restore point can be the last restore point. It's no problem. Next. okay, which virtual machine? So this is the name, how it will look. Where is the host? So I have only one SXI host. So let's use it. Well, let's don't connect to that machine to the network, because original machine on Hyper-V is up and running. No, it's not up and running, but so it's doesn't matter which network. The same like for the previous instant recovery, we are booting up only. We are booting up from backup files, so we don't change dot files. And let's power on. Okay. So now what we will do, we will, of course, we will need to make the V2V, so virtual to virtual conversion. It takes more or less something around 1 minute. Okay, so this will be this view, and this will be the second view. Oh, here you can see that virtual machines were registered. And yes, Hyper-V machine is already here. So here you can see V2V conversion. So we already published that machine. Is that machine now? Something around 1 minute, maybe less. We will make. It depends on the size, on the environment. Physical to virtual takes usually a little bit longer. So when this conversion will be done, of course, first boot up takes a little bit more time because we are right now injecting. Oh, here you can see power on, powering on, and window virtual machine is booting. Of course, as you can see suggestions. So to minimize this time, we are not installing VMware tools. You have to do it on your own later, because maybe you want to different, especially for the Linux systems. There are some different integration tools you want to install, but we are just only injecting drivers for the network and for the storage, for the motherboard to be able to boot up. But right now it's already done. So I'm when the virtual machine will boot up, I'm able to log in and to perform all kind of the operation. So within several seconds, I did that. Okay, so that's the option. So if we go and refresh, yeah, you can see that this operating system is already up and running. So what else we can do with this? So when we already has V2 up and running, so we can migrate to production. So now we will use storage vMotion. So move from our Veeam storage to Veeam repository, which is working as the storage, to production VMware storage. Or if we make just some tests, if for this physical machine we are able to install new application, maybe some update or something else, and we finish, then we can do stop publishing, and then we will clean up everything, and you will see that we will just power off unregistered virtual machine. Yes, power off unregistered, and a virtual machine is gone, like penguins from Madagascar. We are not here. Okay, so that what was for instant recovery. I hope you like it. Okay, so next topic, data management. So there are two areas of the data management. One, so when we send backup somewhere, we would like to have those backups as secure as possible, especially in case of ransomware or against some hackers. It will be compromised by some hacker. He can maybe deletes backups before he will do something else and ask for some ransom. So this is the one challenge we want to address or improve how we can handle. And the second scenario is data reuse. So when we say take the backups, of course, one of the use cases is what you show on the previous demo. So make the instant recovery data. So to make some test environment or for some developers or something like this. But also the other usage, how we can use for data mining or for some other security for Linux. So first, regarding the secure data, if you are using Veeam software, Veeam Backup, so you maybe could probably hear about Veeam scale-out backup repositories. Scale-out backup repository is some, let's say, the logical bundle of classical storages. So it can be directory attached storage, network attached storage, some appliance, the duplication appliance, which can be bundled together in, we call it performance tier. So we can make the tiering of the backups. So this is the one, and send data backups full, for example, full backups to the duplicator appliance, incremental to the direct attached storage. But additionally, from version 9.5, we are able to we were able to move older files done, for example, 30 days, or the value could be set by us. So we could send the data to the object storage, to the Amazon S3, to the blob storage, or any device which is compatible with S3. The new stuff in version 10 is that besides the move option, we have the copy option, and one more for every kind of the object storage which is supported with S3 object lock. We are able to make immutable backups. Okay, so once more, let me show this option. Now I have it here. So here in the repository, I have AWS S3. So let me edit it. I will show you this setting, because this setting is it should be this option to use it. The storage should be capable of do this. So AWS S3 is able to do this. Some of the physical object storages are also able to do this. So now I'm loading Amazon S3 configuration, and what this option do? Oh, here you can see the middle option. Make the recent backup immutable for. This, of course, increase some cost, and we use some special S3 API, but this will call that nobody will able to delete those files. Even administrator, the good one from the backup server, will not be able for this amount of the time delete the backups, because even root credentials, administrator credentials are not enough to delete those backups. So these settings make some kind warm backups, write once, read many. So so the backup files will have lock flag, and you will not be able to do anything in case of restore. Of course, you can make the restore, but in case of if you will try to delete those files, you will get error message that sorry, we are not able to delete this because this the storage has option to immutable option, so we are not able to do this. Please wait till end of this period. In case you really want to do this, most probably you will need to open support ticket to Amazon S3 to remove those lock before end of this time. So that's the option how you can protect. So in that case, when you will get ransomware or some hacker, this ransomware or hacker will not be able to delete your backup files. One more option, maybe, as I'm here already in the demo environment, I will show you before we will go to the slide, but this will also be on the slide, how to use other data for backup. I mentioned you the instant recovery for VMware, yes, to restore everything to VMware. So I will show you one more thing, but I will need second machine. Okay, so for example, over here, okay, let's have this Exchange server, Exchange machine, and I'm able, of course, to restore single. Okay, Exchange machine, please. So I'm able to restore Exchange items. I'm able to restore Windows files from inside, but there is also a new option, instant disk recovery. What this option do? So we can select which restore point. Okay, let's do the latest one. It can be, doesn't matter. So we can, as you can see, this instant disk recovery. So we can do something similar to the instant recovery for whole virtual machine, but this time we are recovering this VMware, in that case, virtual machine to this machine. So to show you, I will do this for this domain controller. So I will be able to restore virtual machine from one disk from one virtual machine to the totally different another virtual machine. So before we'll go here, let's go here, and here you can see disk management. So I have disk 0 and disk 1, 40 and 20 gigs. So right now I will restore it here. On the next, I have the warning that if disk should be replaced or restored. Do I want to continue? No, because it's here. Let's change it, because this is already used by the original virtual machine, this the domain controller. So let's choose some different SCSI. Okay, and to this DC will be mounted secure restore for scanning for antivirus. Next, finish. And right now, let's switch here. In several seconds, you will see that we will be able to see additional volumes here, additional disk and additional volumes. Oh, here we are. So right now, I'm able to make these volumes online. And you can see that F drive, E drive is this hidden system partition. F drive is this new one. So let's look how this F drive looks. So here you can see even here the exchange file. So I'm able to do anything. And now let's imagine that now I'm not logged on to domain controller, but I am logged on to some system with data mining, which I have the very advanced system for data mining. So right now I can scan this F drive or any subfolder, any folder from this backup machine for looking for some data, for example, credit card numbers or some social ID numbers or any important data, or some forcenic, so some forcenic analysis, so some threads or some other stuff. So I'm able to easily to connect that data from Exchange server, in this case to the domain controller. Okay, so let's clean up. So I will make this disk back online, and then, because here we had this successfully, again we can migrate to production, or we can stop publishing. So this disk will disappear in a second. Let's wait few. Oh yes, this is disappear because we deleted this. Okay, so that was the second option. Yeah. So here was the on the slide what I already showed you. So we have new data integration API, which is available through the PowerShell. So you can attach through the PowerShell disk from the backups to the any environment. This what I show is one of the options how you can use this data integration API under the hood. So as I mentioned, it can be used for security analysis, data mining, some business intelligence, or anything like this. Yeah, and here I can see the question: can we restore to the same server but different iSCSI? Yes, of course, because you can choose where to restore that disk to any virtual machine on the VMware and to any iSCSI number. So we can even restore to the same machine, but under the different SCSI. Okay, so that's the option. So that's the main three area, because we are lack of time. So it was just a sneak peek. We could, to be honest, I make several times some dedicated session about the what's new, and it took more than 3 hours even to cover even still briefly. So right now that's all from my demos. I will not show you any other feature live, but general the other areas where we improve. So for the enterprise application, so we improve our plugins for SAP HANA databases and Oracle backups. So in case of Oracle Airman or Oracle on the virtual machine, we are able to do this. We have more and more features integrated tight, like our marketing says, with Linux Love, and on different areas, because from one side, if you have the physical machine with, for example, MySQL or Postgres, we are able to, like in the same way, like right now or previously we had for Microsoft SQL or Oracle, we can treat and prepare those two Linux databases prepared for the backup. We still don't have the explorers. Maybe in the future we will have it, but right now we have option to quiescence out of the box without any special scripts. We have the proxy server, so the component which process the virtual machines. We can have it. We can have it as the Linux machine. We can make the instant, or we can make the file level recovery without having the connection through the network. So if we had a firewall or different VLANs and we want to restore some files to the DMZ VMs, we are right now still able to do this through the VIX API. So through the VMware tools, we are able to inject without network connection to the machine. 3-to-1 rule, I already mentioned about these gaps. Well, to have the 3 copies, 2 media, 1 offsite. So with this immediate copy option to the different location. Backup for Nutanix Acropolis hypervisor is more and more integration we have with backup and replication. Using NAS backups and the backups, I already covered this. This analytics data, and with this API, how we can use it, also covered. Seal your data, or so in case you have several repositories and one of the data should be retired, but you don't want to copy it, you want to minimize number of read or write operations, so you can seal a whole repository, and it can slowly, according to retention, remove all the files without reducing egress costs. So also, if you will send to the Azure blob storage or AWS, for example, and you keep that as the archive, the backups over there, and you want to restore, for example, a whole virtual machine from half year ago, which is on Azure, but you have the latest restore point for the same virtual machine on the local repository, and for example, 70% of the data are the same on the yesterday restore point and half year ago restore point. Then when we restore from the cloud, we will take whatever blocks we have on the local storage, we will take it from the local storage to minimize the traffic you are taking from the cloud. One reminder about the licensing. So we have 2 types of licensing. We have licensing per CPU or Veeam Universal license, as you can see, which is portable license. With the Veeam Universal License, you can make the backup for virtual environment, for VMware Hyper-V Nutanix, or physical servers and workstations, Microsoft and the Linux, and very, very soon you can expect also new agent for Unix, especially for Solaris. On the Spark systems, we are able to use this license for Azure virtual machines, AWS virtual machines, for databases, or on Oracle, or on SAP, or for the file shares. And here some comparison. So per socket can be on-premises only for VMware and the Hyper-V environment. So it's the per socket licensing, and the Veeam Universal License can be used on any kind license. In case of virtual machine, it's licensed per virtual machines, but it can also cover physical servers. This new NAS servers of the licensing, what I show you, NAS backups, is based on this universal license, and that's all. So we will plan something in this presentation about the 45-50 minutes. So that's all. Do you have any question, or maybe Miroslav, do you want to make this some summary, maybe in local language?
Yeah. Tai ką, ačiū uždėmesį. Iš tikrųjų, jeigu turit dabar klausimų, tai rašykit. Jeigu neturit dabar klausimų, bet kažkokios temos iš šitos prezentacijos jums buvo įdomios ir norėtumėt giliau panagrinėti, tai duokit mums žinoti ir mes jums padarysim atskirai gilesnę analizę jūs dominančių klausimų. Mariusz, there is one question. Does Veeam support?
Yeah. Yes, I noticed it. So regarding vSphere 7, not yet, but very, very soon we plan, because our general roadmap guidelines for new VM or new Hyper-V is usually that we will release the support within maximum 90 days from product release. So if you will count the date from vSphere 7 when it was released, plus 90 days, so plus 3 months, so within that time frame we'll add the support. In most cases, it more or less, because version 10, when we released on the beginning of the year, on that time we were testing version 7 of VMware against the beta version. And now with the final version, it was a little bit changed. There is some small changes between this, what was on beta and the final version on the VMware side. So I think that before the summer, for sure, you will have the support for vSphere 7. So it will be probably called, I don't know, like now we have version 10, so it will be version 10 A or B or some different letter. But we will have it very soon.
Tai gerai, dar kartelį ačiū tada uždėmesį. Daugiau klausimų kaip ir nebėra, tai dar kartelį prašau užpildykite apklausą, palikite savo nuomonę apie šį seminarą ir kaip noriu dar kartelį pakartoti, jeigu kažkokios temos iš šios dienos prezentacijos jums yra įdomios ir norėtumėt giliau panagrinėti, duokit žinoti, mes susisieksime su jumis ir apžvelgsime giliau šios klausimus. Tai dėkui dar kartą ir iki sekančio pasimatymo po savaitės. Ačiū, viso gero. Mariusz, can we talk afterwards, after, let's say, a few minutes?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.